اللجل اللجل يا مولا اللجل 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 اللجل.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الصلاة والسلام على سيد الأنبياء والمرسلين خاتم النبيين بالقاسم محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين. أما بعد، فقد قال الله الحكيم في قرآنه الكريم: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وبالوالدين إحسانا وذي القرب. صدق الله العلي العظيم. صلوات. وبالوالدين إحسانا وذي القرب is an ayah in Surah Baqarah, ayah 83, and it says, and do good unto your parents and your relatives. It is telling us the importance of family. If I see my parents fighting with their family, then I am inclined to do the same thing. We are told here that we mustn't break ties with our family. It doesn't matter how distant they are. They could be my uncles, cousins, brothers, auntie, or whatever. But if they are family, then I must keep them close. I must keep good relations with them. And I must make sure that I do not upset them. Or I must try my best not to upset them. And should I do that, I should ask for forgiveness. And in the same way, should they upset me, then I should forgive them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told us that we must be good with our family. We must keep good relations. And He's mentioned specifically both relationships, but separately He's mentioned our parents. وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. First come your parents. First come your parents when it comes to pleasing everybody. If I cannot please my whole family, I must try my best to keep my mother and my father happy. Now, I am a young child. When I think about keeping my parents happy, when I think that I want my parents to be happy with me, I want my family to be happy with me, I want to have good relations with my family, I have to think, where does it start from? Where do I first start gaining these good relations? If we think about it in the sense of a tree, if I want to plant a tree that will give me apples, I will plant apple seeds in the ground. So right from the start, from my childhood, if I keep good relations with my uncles, my aunties, my parents, then inshallah, in the future, my children, they will have good relations with their family. But of course, that's not enough. Some things change. Along the line, your child may get into a fight. Something may happen, circumstances change. So we have to keep it going. When we do want a tree, when we do have a good apple tree, we have to take care of it in its growing stages. If we want a truly good plant, a really nice plant, it will give me the best of apples. Every day I'm going to water it. I'm going to make sure the soil is nicely fertilized. I'm going to take care of that tree while it is still growing. In the same way, when children are growing, what they see from their parents is what they learn. It's what they take in. In the same way, when I see my parents visiting my family on a regular basis, then I want to go and visit my family on a regular basis. But of course, if my parents or my family are having a fight with each other, if they are not in good relation, then at the same time, I will not be in good relation. If, say, my father were to have a fight with his brother, then I, as a child, would not want to visit my uncle. I would not like my uncle because my father is not happy with him. If that was the case, then immediately, through the parents' actions, the child who has seen what is happening has taken that in. But on the flip side also, as a child, I must be a child who my parents are proud of. Because if my parents put their time and effort into making me the child they want me to be, I have to turn around and be the child that they want me to be. I have to turn around and be the child who they are proud of. If, for instance, say we are all sitting here. We're all in the gents sitting here listening to this lecture. But in the ladies, where there are smaller children, there's surely going to be one kid somewhere running around, doing his own thing, maybe talking. And when you do see that, there's of course going to be an auntie somewhere, Dekho, ye kiska beta hai? You're going to see somebody there whose thinking, whose child is this? And when that auntie thinks that, why is that? It's because it's the parent's job to bring that child up. So, as a child, as a young man, I have to make sure that my parents are proud of who I am. I have to make sure that when I'm sitting in Idara, when I'm walking around outside, when I'm doing something, doing anything, I have to make sure that I am enlightening the name of my parents. I have to make sure that I am doing something that my parents and my family would be happy with. Now, it's all well and good to say that it's down to the parents to make sure that their children are good. It's all down to the parents to bring up their children in the right way. But how so? Everybody has their own technique for parenting. Everybody has their own technique as to how they should bring up their child. A lot of new parents, what they do is they'll ask their friends who are parents already, or they'll go online and they'll see how other people have parented their children, how other people have brought up their children, and see how that has worked for them. For instance, if I see a parent thinking, I should give my child freedom, I should allow him to do what he wants. If I see that that child who was given freedom is now reading namaz every day on his time, is now coming to every majlis, is now listening thoroughly to the lecture, then of course, I will want to do the same thing with my child. But if I see they have given him freedom and he has gone out into the streets, he is drinking alcohol, he is doing drugs, things like that, I'm not going to want to give my child as much freedom. Now, when we sit here and we think, what should I do? How should we bring our children up? We look back and we look at people who have done it successfully. Now, in Islam, we have one great role model for that. We have one person who was such a great person, so caring, so loving, that she was not only mother of her own children, but she was Abiha. Bibi Fatima Zahra, she was. She was a woman who was so great in her nature. She was not only such a brilliant mother, she was a great daughter, to the extent that she became the mother of her own father in title. Now, when we think, how does that make sense? How does that work? Who is a mother? A mother is somebody who takes care of me. When I'm hurt, she picks me up. When I am sleepy, she puts me to sleep. When I am hungry, she gives me food. A mother is somebody who is always there for me. And that is what Bibi Fatima was for Rasulullah. When we look, she was Abiha, but at the same time, she was the mother of Hasnain. And who are Hasnain? Imam Hassan and Hussein are Sayyid al-Shabab Ahl al-Jannah. Of course, we all know the saying, Al-Jannatu tahta aqdam al-Ummahat. We all know that heaven is under the feet of the mothers. So, when we look at the leaders of the youth of paradise, those who will inshallah one day be our leaders, where is their heaven? Their heaven is under the feet of Bibi Fatima Zahra. And when we look, she was not only a great mother, a great daughter, she was also a wife. She was a wife to Imam Ali alayhi salam. And Imam Ali alayhi salam, he was kulla iman. He was our religion. He is our religion. Today, without the love of Imam Ali in my heart, how much of my ibadah is counted? How much of it is worth anything? And Bibi Fatima, when she married Imam Ali alayhi salam, she completed nisfa iman. She completed half of his religion. That is who Bibi Fatima was. She was the woman who was a rahmah for rahmatul lil alameen. As a daughter, she played such a great role in his life. When he'd come back every day with thorns, nettles, garbage, all these sort of things on him, you can imagine how somebody feels. They feel downtrodden. They feel like giving up. Bibi Fatima was there every day to pick up Rasulullah again. She was there every day to nurse his wounds and send him out the next day to go and preach Islam. When it came to Imam Ali, he too came through many difficulties. He too went out in many wars, many battles, and he came back. Of course, he was tired. You go to a battle, it's not a light thing. We go to work for one day, we come back tired. Imam Ali would go out and he would kill hundreds of men in one battle. He would come back, Bibi Fatima would be there to take care of him. Imam Hassan and Hussein alayhimus salam, they would go out to the masjid. When Imam Ali would give a khutbah in Masjid al-Kufa, Imam Hassan would listen to that khutbah. He'd come back and Bibi Fatima, she would ask him, tell me, what did your father say today? Bibi Fatima, she is the mother of Bibi Zainab, who is alima ghayr mu'allima. She doesn't need to know what Imam Ali alayhi salam said. She already knows what he said. That knowledge is already within her. But still, she asks Imam Hassan. Why? To instill it again within the Imam, and again to show us how we should raise our children, show us how we should take care of our children. This is who Bibi Fatima was. She was a woman who never thought about herself first. How many of us can be ready to go and listen to our son come back and tell us the whole lecture of Maulana? If Maulana reads today and then we go home, we can ask our children, what did he read? We can ask, what did he read today? And we can give the key points. Imam Hassan alayhi salam gave the whole lecture back to her. How many people can be ready to listen to that again? Now, why did Bibi Fatima do this? For Imam Hassan, not for herself. For us, not for herself. She did this because she was somebody who never thought of herself first. She thought of others first. When do we see this best? We see this best when Imam Hassan and Hussein alayhi salam were ill, and she said to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ya Allah, if you cure my children, we will fast for 3 days. And they truly did fast for 3 days, because every night at iftar time, somebody would come and they would not be able to have their food properly. So Bibi Fatima, first of all, she prayed for the cure of her children. She prayed for them to become better. And at the same time, when they become better, what does she do? She teaches them Islam. She brings Islam into them by making them fast for 3 days. And in that, they appreciate Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it's these things, this closeness, this faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that will bring the children close to Allah when they see it in their parents. Now, Bibi Fatima salamullah, she did many things. In her life, she was a great woman. But when it came to family, she always took her family most important. Her family and those who she cared for were always the most important, more so than herself, more so than anybody else. But when Bibi Fatima salamullahi alayha is showing us how we should take care of our family, what is she doing? She's bringing Islam into them. And we said, when a child is messing around, then the parents are looked upon. But when a child does good, in the same way the parents are looked upon. And you see, Bibi Fatima salamullah, she has got 2 sons who are the most knowledgeable. When it comes to their religion, there is nobody more knowledgeable than them 2. Now, when they see somebody, they can easily gloat. See somebody doing something wrong, they easily gloat. But it's testament to Bibi Fatima Zahra that when Imam Hassan and Hussein saw an old man doing wudu incorrectly, they went and they corrected him, but in a manner that would not belittle him, but in a manner that would not belittle themselves, but not belittle him either, in a manner that would exalt all 3 of them. Bibi Fatima, she is that person who we look towards when we think of our family. She is that person who we look towards when we think of how to bring up children or how to mend ties with our family. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He is the one who has sent her to us. And no matter when we have an issue, we can always see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent a role model for us. And when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was asked, when He was asked, what is over there? What are these bright lights coming? What was the reply? Hum Fatima wa abuha wa ba'luha wa banuha. Salawat.